South Africa T20 Cricket League 2025-26. Here is complete schedule. Match number 1. MI Cape Town vs Durban Super Giants on 26th December. Match number 2. Pretoriya Capital vs Joburg Super Kings on 27th December. Match number 3. Paarl Royals vs Sunrisers Eastern Cape on 27th December. Match number 4. Durban Super Giants vs MI Cape Town on 28th December. Match number 5. Sunrisers Eastern Cape vs Pretoriya Capital on 29th December. Match number 6. Durban Super Giants vs Joburg Super Kings on 30th December. Match number 7. Sunrisers Eastern Cape vs Paarl Royals on 31st December. Match number 8. MI Cape Town vs Pretoriya Capital on 31st December. Match number 9. Joburg Super Kings vs Durban Super Giants on 1st January. Match number 10. Paarl Royals vs MI Cape Town on 2nd January. Match number 11. Joburg Super Kings vs Sunrisers Eastern Cape on 3rd January. Match number 12. Pretoriya Capital vs Durban Super Giants on 3rd January. Match number 13. MI Cape Town vs Paarl Royals on 4th January. Match number 14. Pretoriya Capital vs Sunrisers Eastern Cape on 5th January. Match number 15. MI Cape Town vs Joburg Super Kings on 6th January. Match number 16. Durban Super Giants vs Pretoriya Capital on 7th January. Match number 17. Joburg Super Kings vs Paarl Royals on 8th January. Match number 18. Durban Super Giants vs Sunrisers Eastern Cape on 9th January. Match number 19. Paarl Royals vs Pretoriya Capital on 10th January. Match number 20. Joburg Super Kings vs MI Cape Town on 10th January. Match number 21. Sunrisers Eastern Cape vs Durban Super Giants on 11th January. Match number 22. Pretoriya Capitals vs MI Cape Town on 12th January. Match number 23. Paarl Royals vs Durban Super Giants on 13th January. Match number 24. Sunrisers Eastern Cape vs Joburg Super Kings on 14th January. Match number 25. Pretoriya Capitals vs Paarl Royals on 15th January. Match number 26. MI Cape Town vs Sunrisers Eastern Cape on 16th January. Match number 27. Durban Super Giants vs Paarl Royals on 17th January. Match number 28. Joburg Super Kings vs Pretoriya Capitals on 17th January. Match number 29. Sunrisers Eastern Cape vs MI Cape Town on 18th January. Match number 30. Paarl Royals vs Joburg Super Kings on 19th January. First qualified match will be played on 21st January. The eliminator match will be played on 22nd January. The second qualifier match will be played on 23rd January. The big final will be played on 25th January.